Now you want to lay your cloth on top of the board that you just put all your foam and batting on. And then after that you want to flip it up and start stapling on the underneath side of the bottom. Now you want to turn it over to the other side and start stapling the top down. Now when you staple the top, you want to pull it as tight as you possibly can so that the front of your board, front of your headboard isn't going to have a lot of folds or dips, just very tight. As tight as you can possibly get it. So I would suggest pulling and then pushing down. And even this is not as tight as I would like it to be. And then just keep going down the line, pulling as tight as you can and stapling. Do these divots in the last, well, second to last, you want to do the sides last. But these divots, I would recommend cutting. Cut it up the middle so that you can pull them apart a little more. But obviously you try not to cut too far or else you're going to cut into where your fabric would be showing on the front of your board. Try to cut maybe 4 or 5 of these slits. It's sort of like when you're making a dress or any kind of garment and you have to sew a corner, not a corner, a rounded edge. You have to cut little clips like in the sleeve so that it will form well on the outside. And that's as far as I want to go with that. Let's see, maybe I'll make another one here. Alright. Once you get all of your pieces cut, you want to just pull it as tight as you can. And again, staple. Obviously, be careful not to staple your fingers. That would be bad. I could definitely see myself doing that here on camera. If you have too much excess now that you cut all those slits, just cut it off in chunks. That one did not go well. And then just keep going down the line the same way you did. Pulling and after you're done with that corner, then you want to do the side. Pull it tight. Now the other side is going to be the one that you really pull tight. Just pull this one as tight as you can, but when you get to the other side, that's the one that you really want to tighten because it's the last side. So now, if that's all you wanted to do with your headboard, you're done. Yay! But what I'm going to be doing is adding what would look like white and then line line of, this will be the line of blue. So basically I'm just adding an embellishment of white, and then I'm going to be adding buttons in between to make it look more nicer. So first, if you are doing the same thing that I'm going to be doing, you want to make a line or a guide as to where your blue is going to be showing. So I want my blue to be showing about, I'd say 8 or 9 inches. Let's go with 9 inches. So you want to make marks every 9 inches, but don't make them above the 9-inch mark or else they're going to show. You want to make them right at the 9-inch mark with a marker that you're going to be able to see, or right below it, I would say. Right below it. And then keep going the whole way around, making marks just below the 9-inch mark. When you get to these corners here, it's going to be tricky because they're going to have to be a little more than 9 inches. What you want to do is go to the middle of your corner here and go 9 inches in, make a mark just under, then go here, make a mark just under, go here, make a mark just under, go here. Looks like it might have gone a little bit over. And then connect and go the whole way around like this. My mark here might have gone just a little bit over. Just like that. Go down. And do that the whole way around. Just over the top of the piping so that the right sides are together. Then you want to take your staple gun and make sure you have enough room on either side so that when you pull it down, you're not going to have space here hanging over the edge. And you want to staple it in place the same way you did your piping, and then you're just going to fold it over. Staple it down into the crevice that you just made. Staples again. It should be easier this time to staple it in because it's already been forced down. And you want to make a lot of staples. I would say 1 every inch. After you do that top, you want to take your fabric and fold it over like this. Get the piping showing in all the areas if it's not. And then flatten it out. And then what you want to do, if I can find my staple gun, probably under, oh here it is. Then what you want to do is the places where, well, you can cut this a little bit. Oh, I put the scissors inside. Take this and fold it over. Then what you want to do, making sure that everything is pretty crisp and tight. I think I'm going to have to go get my scissors. You want to make it so that this is in here, right next to your piping, fold it over, and then staple it right between your piping and the cloth. The next thing you want to do is take your hot glue gun and glue your piping onto the crevice where you, between your solid dark color and solid light color or patterned or whatever. Just hot glue all around in the crevices. Just like, oops. Forgot to turn mine. After you've hot glued your cord on, all you want to do is measure at intervals where your buttons are. I made mine 5 inches apart on top and sides, so it was pretty easy to, ooh, you have to be careful, these things pop up. All you have to do is staple where you make your marks and then hot glue, oh goodness, hot glue the buttons in place. Watch. Staple, then take your hot glue, and button, hot glue, voila, done. Pretty nifty. And then just go down, hot gluing your buttons in place. And after that, you are totally done. Exciting! It's taken me days, as you can tell, to do this. I didn't go and change for every single scene. It took me about 3 days. And that's with, you know, having to take care of 3 kids, so if you didn't have any kids to take care of, you could maybe finish it in 1 day, start to finish. And I ended up having to go out many times to buy extra materials that I didn't think I needed. Buttons, cording, all kinds of stuff. So if you have all your materials that I mentioned in the post before you start, and you have no one else to distract you from your work, I'd say you could do this in 1 day. But, I mean, if you don't, you could still maybe finish it in a weekend. Like I said, it took me 3 days. But that was with a lot of distractions, so yeah, it's not too bad. It was a pretty easy project, I'd say. There are more difficult ones, and that was it.
There you have it. Now all I did was lay the headboard behind the bed, and it was a little too short. So what I did was put these little Tupperware containers that I had on top, underneath, and it lifted it just amount of lift to make it almost perfect. I didn't want it to be too high because then it will block the windows, but there you go. Stay tuned soon for the duvet, ruffled duvet tutorial and pillows. Thanks for watching.